So everyone, great to be back with one of the next LinkedIn Live sessions. Today, we got a guest here from a company, Custobar, which is not selling any alcohols, even if the main bar is in it. And Tatu, you got a last name that I can't spell, but it's great to have you here as the founder of Custobar and the CEO. And just tell us a little bit about your company and also yourself.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, so Custobar, we are first we are from Finland, Northern Europe, from Helsinki, and Custobar is marketing automation and customer data platform in one product. We started the company already like nine years ago, or almost 10 years ago. And at that time, there wasn't any term for what we did. There was marketing automation, but we felt that that's not enough. That's not explaining completely what we do. But there wasn't existing the term, which is nowadays CDP, Customer Data Platform. So we were kind of thinking, well, there's not good word for what we do. But then when CDP came the term into the market, so then that was it. We knew that because from the beginning, we've been working with customer data. And yeah, our origins, if I tell a short story related to this, is that my co-founder actually had been working with retail for a long time. And he had been working with one record store chain in Finland, selling CDs and LPs. And we all know what has happened to the record store business. But this company actually have been able to grow every year, even though the market has been declining like 90% in their business. So because there's not so much record sales anymore, but it does exist, and they've been successful because one main reason has been that they have been using customer data, and they have been utilizing our tool the entire time, and they are still our customer. But anyway, that was the origins of our business, was from this record store and their needs to utilize customer data to target segment customers and target personalized messages.
Yeah, I think with shopping experiences, you do need to have a good customer data, and a CDP is often called a good solution to this. So if you want to have a personalized shopping experience, I think without customer data, that's quite impossible. Can you maybe explain a little bit why Custobar is a good solution to use that? So, for example, I know about several shops using Custobar, and I've just got positive feedback on that. By the way, that's also the reason why we are talking today. But it would be definitely great to know a little bit about also first-party data and why, let's say, cookie consent solutions are, let's say, that at the end.
Yeah, well, as we all know, the term first-party data is now has been very popular in recent years because of the decline and kind of the third-party cookies cannot be used anymore as before, which is of course very good thing, because it was like a wild west in the past, how especially those big advertisement companies utilized customer data kind of to their own benefit, of course. But anyway, nowadays, first-party data became then more and more important. So what is actually first-party data? It's the data that companies get directly from their end customers. So that's a kind of direct agreement with the end customer and the company, that they are giving consent and giving that data to the company for the use. And then, of course, from the business point of view, you can think that it's for marketing and it's for selling more. Of course, that's the other side. But from the consumer point of view, it's to be more relevant. And this relevance is what we are emphasizing. So often, consumers are passionate about the things, of course, what they love and what they want to buy. If it's a hobby or whatever it is, there's something that they are passionate about. And then being relevant for the company is important, that they are feeding the passion of the consumers, being relevant to them. But if they don't have the data, if they don't utilize the data, they are just pushing same message to all customers alike. And that doesn't work anymore nowadays. So it has to be relevant. You have to be relevant. And in order to be relevant, you have to utilize that data, that first-party data that you gather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it is really amazing, and I really like it. So, and also I understand really about what you are telling us, because when Stefan Hamann, one of the founder from Shopware, and I started our e-commerce businesses, he started Shopware and I started my stuff. I think it was 2004, and no one was knowing about what we are speaking. For example, we go to our bank and we spoke about e-commerce, and they said, "Okay, you are crazy. So go away without money from us, because e-commerce is shit." So I really understand about what you are telling us, and so I'm really happy that you are here. But if you take a look to the retail and to the challenges, what do you think? What is only from the marketing perspective, from the performance marketing perspective? What do you think? What are the biggest challenges at the moment?
For the well, performance marketing, of course, is what we like to talk about is the marketing utilizing your first party data. You can use that for performance marketing as well, so like advertisement. But then, of course, the big trend that we are kind of utilizing is your, we call them your own channels, your own marketing channels towards the customers. What that means? It means email, which is kind of old-fashioned, even more old-fashioned, maybe SMS, but it's still relevant and works well for targeting customers. But those channels, and then of course push notifications if you have mobile app, and to some extent now we are also kind of going into the WhatsApp and messaging world, where you can also which you can utilize nowadays also for communications. But these your own channels are kind of direct channels, how you can reach your consumers directly without any other advertisement platform being in between. So I think that is the kind of bread and butter what we are offering, utilizing your own data, being relevant to the customers, utilizing your own direct communications channels towards your customers. So that's the thing. Of course, if you asked about the trends, of course, AI, it's artificial intelligence is a big trend in everything, but also in our like marketing and utilizing your own channels. It's becoming more and more big issue. It's in the product recommendations, which we have also in our tool, calculating best matching product, again to be relevant for the customers. But it can be much more than that. It can be also other content and products. It can be the like very narrow segmentation of the customers, utilizing the data, etc. So yeah.
Okay. By the way, can you name one argument why you as Custobar are, as a CDP, a good solution to use? So I mean, data privacy, first data, I really got that point that you can't rely on third-party data anymore because it's also insecure, but it doesn't also give you the best insights. So you need to have first-hand insights about your customers so that they feel, as you said, relevance, so that by, for example, being addressed in the right way. But what is Custobar then doing differently than other CDPs?
Yeah, well, the CDP market is interesting. There are those high-end enterprise tools, so which kind of are very costly, first of all, and you typically need an army of consultants or developers to kind of implement them. So that's the other extreme. And then we are in the mid market. So one of our kind of strengths is that we are not only CDP. Of course, there are lots of those CDP only tools in the market, but we combine kind of efficiently both CDP but also marketing automation capabilities, that they are in one solution, both managing the customer data and utilizing the data for your marketing automation, because they are very well kind of tightly connected with each other anyway, because you have to, the personalization and being relevant to the customer happens through the actions, the communications that you do for the customers. So you always need that data. So that's why this combination of CDP, customer data, and marketing automation in one tool, there's so much synergies in it. So that's one major. Of course, if you are a big multinational company, you might need that enterprise level, like high-end solution, but all other companies kind of it's usually much more efficient to have this hybrid or combined product which combines both CDP, customer data, gathering the data, but then also activation, so marketing automation, segmentation, automation flows, and multi-channel, of course, orchestration. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you name
An
an example of a customer who's using also your tool and who has made, let's say, a lot of progress by using and relying on first data privacy, or let's say on your CDP?
Yeah. So one quite well-known company, for example, in Germany is La Mer, a cosmetics brand, who is using our tool for their direct sales. Of course, they sell also a lot through the resellers, but they also have their direct online store. So they are utilizing Custobar, and they've got really good improvement in their direct sales results after taking Custobar into use. But yeah, another kind of nice story which I always like to tell is this story of the record store who originally started to utilize Custobar, and we built the tool for them. So they have 10 stores, physical stores, and online store, and then one really key factor is identifying customers also in the physical store, not only in the online store. Of course, you identify all the customers in the physical store, but then identifying your customers also in the physical store is really critical, because otherwise you are like in the blind. You don't know if the customer bought from the physical store or not. Online store, you always know that if the customer bought, but from physical store, if it's unidentified, anonymous sales, you don't know who was the customer. Was it a returning customer? Was it a new customer? So that kind of is really, really critical to kind of be able to identify also sales from the physical store. And that's what this record store did already early phase. They were good at identifying, asking for the identification. Typically, they ask for phone number or email address or loyalty card in the store. And then when they gathered a lot of customer data, but they didn't utilize this, which is quite typical, I guess, for many companies, that they are actually gathering this first-party data, but not much utilizing it. So then came Custobar, and what was special in that case is that their salespeople in the physical store actually utilized directly Custobar. So they were using Custobar. I always remember when I was discussing with one of their salesperson in one of their stores, and she said, she was a young lady, and she said that it's really nice to use Custobar, because when she closes the store in the evening, and then she sends, because her shift ends like half an hour after closing the store. So before she leaves the store, she closes the doors, and then she sends one targeted message she has created during the day when it's silent times in the store. She has created that kind of targeted message to specific, very narrow customer segment. And then in the morning, when she comes back to the office, to the store, she kind of opens Custobar and can see the conversion. So because we show always the conversion, so she can see how much sales came through online store during the night. So that was kind of she utilized Custobar in the store. But yeah, Markus, go ahead.
What I think is, and I don't know if you know the brand Armed Angels. I don't believe that you know that, but it could be Armed Angels. It's a really cool fashion brand from Germany, and Martin, that is the CEO and the founder, and he's a good friend of mine, and we spoke, I think, 2 days ago, really late in the night. So, and sometimes late in the night we speak about crazy stuff, and we spoke about believers, and we spoke about that we think that from the customer perspective, it is really cool to give a shit of what the lawyers are saying, right? Because for me, it is really easier if the store knows that I'm Markus Diekmann, and I have a racing bike from Rose Bike. So then I get the stuff for my bike, not for other stuff, and then I can combine that with my online shop, and and it is my decision if I want that, and I don't have a problem because I'm not stupid, and I can also, so I don't have a problem with that. So that's one of the parts. The second part we spoke about is that we think if you create a new fashion store, we don't think that is if we create a new fashion store, we think pay with your online shop and not with your offline offline stuff, because it is really smart. And I visited last week Zara in Zara. I don't know if it's called in English Zara or Sarah. I don't know. Boris, one of the biggest fashion brands. You know what I mean? So, and I visited them, and it was really crazy because they have self-checkout point of sales there, and it was really crazy because please type in your email address and your password, and then pay with your online store, and then with your online shop, and then you are really speak about one word, and then we don't have so much problems with that, and then we can use everything.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's a good point, Marcus. Definitely. So the conversion between physical retail stores and online business, definitely something that is definitely having a lot of tailwind. So it's going to change a lot of retail business at present. So a question to you, Tatu. So I think personalized messages, I think, is the key. So first critical question: why do I need a CDP for having personalized messages? So if I know the customer is coming into the store, I might also, like your example, send a short message to all the visitors in the store after they have been there at the evening and just waiting for some conversion in the morning. So what I think is that there should be an automated process for every single customer, because that's something that you can't handle in, let's say, in just one message. It's about the personalized things, and I would really like to know, so how is customer doing that? So what's the personalized message that you can create in that marketing automation process?
Actually, can you, I have the shared screen, if you can share that, because to be concrete, to make this concrete, I wanted to show you a demo, and this is obviously not real data, it's demo data. It's imaginary bookstore from the UK, and this is the starting point of all personalized marketing, is the so-called 360 view of individual customer. This is the kind of essence, so to say, of CDP, creating this 360 view. And in Custobar, we've tried to make it as visual as possible. So here, this is imaginary person now, Bessie Watson. And what you can see the address information below the name. You can see with the green color that this is, we have marketing permission to this customer, email permission, SMS permission. But then you can see the diamond. So we also calculate lifetime value for each customer. So this diamond symbolizes that this is VIP customer. So there are a few different symbols for different customer groups based on the lifetime value. And this is really VIP customer, diamond customer. And then another part is the personal recommendations on the right. You can see that what would be the best matching products to offer to this customer. So we calculated using AI algorithm, but then these recommendations, you can use them in emails and campaigns from Custobar, but you can also use them in the online store or even in the physical store. Now that if the customer, this Bessie Watson, walks in or is using chat, or is sending email, the customer service person can immediately see what would be the best matching offer to and best matching product to provide to this customer. And of course, you can see what are the top categories that this customer is purchasing, which are the top stores this customer is visiting. But anyway, so this 360 view is really the essence and starting point of all personalized marketing. Of course, then I could show you how you create campaigns, how you create segmentations and rules when to trigger campaigns. But I think this is, if I wanted to choose just one thing to show from Custobar, it's this 360 view. And down here, of course, there's the timeline of all the transactions, all the actions of this customer. What are the campaigns this customer has received? And then when I go down, there are like, this customer has added something to the shopping basket in the web store. Customer received the basket reminder. Customer made some purchases. Here you can see customer purchased these 3 books from the physical store. Here customer purchased these books from the online store. So the complete journey, customer journey, also like Facebook, we have the integration to Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads, so that we can send those segments, custom audiences to those advertisement platforms as well. But the idea is that the entire timeline of all the transactions of this individual customer are stored here. So this is the kind of starting point of everything.
Yeah, that's impressive, definitely. What I would recommend here is that add WhatsApp here to the data, because this is missing here in that customer overview. And this leads also to my next question. So what channels do you think are the most effective ones? So,
Yeah.
I mean, personalized WhatsApp, if I think of a partner of ours, Charles, who's doing WhatsApp marketing and is very good in that. What would you recommend here as one of the most important channels? So how do you get the attention of those customers? Because sending personalized messages is one thing, but you need to reach them.
Yes, very good question. So, of course, still thinking of the price effectiveness, like comparison, email is far best channel because the cost of individual email is so low. So you can reach them. That's very effective, even though, of course, there are, for example, youngsters who might not read emails as older generations, we older generations do. But anyway, email is the most cost-effective channel still. But then I mentioned SMS, and of course, push notification is really effective channel if you have mobile app, your own mobile app, and you're able to kind of reach customers through the push notifications. That's very effective channel as well. But then, as you mentioned, WhatsApp is really interesting, and now we are also piloting WhatsApp and bringing it here as in Custobar very soon. So, but it's quite costly, of course. The cost is double or even triple compared to the SMS. So SMS is old-fashioned, but quite effective still. But yeah, we are very much looking into what kind of new revenue streams WhatsApp could bring to customers. Now that it was actually just this June that Facebook or Meta decided to kind of loosen the opportunities how you can utilize WhatsApp for marketing. They are still very strict about it. So you have to always, of course, have the permission to send WhatsApp messages, and then it's quite costly, and they want to see the template, your template, what kind of messages, marketing messages you are going to send. WhatsApp wants to kind of approve them beforehand, so you can't utilize it freely as you can with email and SMS. You can use them freely. But anyway, it's really interesting to see the results of WhatsApp channel as well.
Yeah, I think you should always consider the conversion. So if you have, for example, WhatsApp, which is costly but has a better reach and conversion, then you should consider this.
Absolutely.
But for sure, you have. Do you have also statistics about those things? Because I see some diagrams in here. Great. Also, Marcus in the chat. So Marcus Rambo mentioned that's great to see historical data here, because I think that's also important.
Yes.
This might then also lead to a recommendation which kind of channels you should use in order to reach the customer, because you then, due to the historical data, might see which worked best in the past by addressing the customer, right?
Yeah. And this is also what we are suggesting to our customers, to also make it personal, so that the customer, him or herself, can actually choose what would be the primary channels that you want to be reached out, so that customers can themselves, of course, WhatsApp, for example, and SMS requires always specific permission to that channel, but so that customers could choose the channels they prefer, rather than trying to reach all the customers through the same channel, but offering that choice for the customer, that which channels do you prefer to use. But yeah, but the conversion is, of course, the number that we are looking at very much, and because we can also track it in Custobar. nicely. I can actually, that's another thing what I would like to show you is that we can track the conversion of the customers. Here is demo campaign. So
Yeah, that's
here
huge.
is one sent campaign. You can see, of course, opens and clicks the impressions, but then the conversion, how many of the customers actually who got the message and opened the message actually bought. And not only the online conversion, but also the physical stores. You can see we got totally in this campaign, the demo campaign, we got 180 orders and this much revenue. But you can see here how much revenue came from online store, how much from the physical store. And this is one very specific thing that Custobar can do, is to also show the offline conversion, because we are gathering the data from the offline store and trying to identify the customers always in
Yeah,
the
I really love that. Definitely, that's huge, because often I see just the opportunity to use certain tools or certain marketing automation actions in order to reach customers the best. But this is definitely a great thing that you have that as well. Very well organized, very well published here. That's
Yeah.
Is that, by the way, what kind of USPs do you have? So is that the presentation of the data?
Yes, that's the visualization. That's one strength of us, and then possibility to show this online offline conversion, definitely one of our strengths. And then this possibility to also show the offline identification level. I mentioned it already, but that because in order to manage that, how well do we perform in terms of identifying customers in the store? So that's a measure, that KPI that you have to measure, and Custobar actually can show that what is the percentage of your stores. Let's say if you have 3 stores in different cities, how well is, let's say, Berlin store, how well are they performing in identifying customers? They are identifying only 50% of the customers, but Frankfurt store is identifying 75%. So what can we do to improve the kind of identification level in the Berlin store? Because that is really, really crucial, that you identify as high percentage of the customers in the store as possible, because only then you can see the real conversion.
Yes, absolutely. And you know how it works sometimes. In the past, we spoke about profit center. So it was really important to understand you make advertising, and then your store makes a revenue. But then it changed. Today, it is not so easy to make a decision. What was first? The advertising online, the advertising offline, how it works together. And I think that is good to see that everything works together and can become more successful. So
Exactly.
and that is really nice to see, and how it works. And it's also good to create a feeling, for example, for manager without any experience in on and offline, to understand more, and also to make decisions and to speak with the e-commerce manager or the offline manager. So I think it is a great tool for that.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually one of our customer who is like e-commerce manager and marketing manager of that. He covers both, responsible for e-commerce and digital marketing. He said that this view of showing the sales online, offline, and also as you can see here is also the sales of physical stores. What were the top selling stores in this campaign? He uses this view to prove the store managers that digital marketing is not only kind of influencing e-commerce, it's also influencing the physical store sales, because often the physical store managers think that it's us against e-commerce, but it's not against e-commerce. It's we are both kind of selling more if the digital marketing works well.
Yeah, amazing. Do you got numbers to this? Because this is something where Marcus and me are always talking with customers about, that there is the necessity to combine offline and online business in order to build a strong force, and also to improve business at the point of sale. You got certainly some customers who are doing this. Do you got some numbers? How much has improved, for example, the conversion rate at the point of sale when both business are combined, like with Sarah or with other stores here in Germany?
Yeah, we do. Of course, then you can actually measure that in Custobar, because we also take in the historical data. Always when you start using Custobar, we take in the historical data, not only starting from from the day that you start utilizing Custobar, but also the, let's say, few years back. So you can actually, from the day one, you can compare how was the sales like last year, how is the sale this year. So you can really see clearly the comparison between the time before and after. So yeah, it's. But then of course another element which is influencing this conversion is again this identification level. So when you improve your identification level, you get automatically also higher conversion, because you know who was the customer who bought. But if it's unidentified, anonymous sale, then it's kind of, you don't know who was the customer who bought. So that's why that's also an important criteria in the kind of when you are looking at numbers, is that you identify the customers as high percentage as possible.
Okay, good. So you don't have a rough number. It's just about, so conversion will increase if you combine both worlds, but you can't assess that because it depends on your business case, right?
Yeah, I can give you the kind of what is the roughly the basic idea is that the more you target and segment and personalize, the higher conversion you get. So our best performing conversions sometimes can be over 40% conversions from the campaign, which is insanely high. Of course, I in one seminar I once said that you can sometimes reach over 40% conversions. They said, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But you can when you are relevant, it's actually not anymore marketing, but it's good service. So, and of course that's the idea, that you are feeding the customer's passion. But one example, again, if I use, let's say, bookstores or record store is a kind of good example where you can get really high conversions, is that when you know that this customer loves this band or this artist, or this customer loves this author of the book. So when this author brings new book into the market, so and then you are sending the campaign to those customers who love that author and artist beforehand, of course most of them want to buy. So that type of those are the best cases where you can get the highest revenue, because the customer, those end users, customers who are loving those artists and have passion for that, they want to buy it immediately when it comes to the store. So yeah, those are the best cases, of course.
Right. Yeah, great. So we've had, I think, a huge, let's say, advertisement for Custobar session for so far. So as you are also an expert in marketing automation, so what I would really love to see is that, or hear from you. So what does artificial intelligence, so AI, have as an impact on your business? So, and how do you think that marketing automation will transform in the next months, as we see that especially the innovation in AI will definitely have an impact on all lives?
Yes.
And for me, it was really interesting. I made a lot of screenshots. You see here, you see that, a lot of screenshots. So after our session, I will go directly to my teams and I will speak with them about that. So for me, it is really helpful in every case to make it directly, to make notes. So that's the reason why I make that in that case, because then for me it is easier to get it in my mind, right? So if I type it directly, the ideas which I create during I listen to you. So it was for me really amazing. So I made a lot of notes. And I'm really happy and I'm really full of power to speak directly with the teams. And hey, let's create the future.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Markus is also one of the young timers who's just for WhatsApp, so you can reach him on any kind of email. So, and I think this is, I mean, sure, Markus is a little bit an example of a generation that is tending definitely to use more WhatsApp channels to personalized address than referring to mails. I think that apps and WhatsApp are those channels that you should have an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. And AI, you asked about that. It has going to have big impact, of course, in all aspects of e-commerce and retail. But then it's what we already have, and has huge impact on product recommendation, being personal with the product recommendations, but then also, of course, other content. So creating like content on behalf of the marketing person, or at least like suggestions for the content. That's one aspect. And then knowing the timing and channel. So what would be the best channel to reach Markus? Is it WhatsApp? Is it something else? So AI can kind of determine that in the future automatically. So that type of things, definitely. So knowing the timing, knowing the customers' content and kind of preferences, and then knowing the channel, which channel to communicate.
That is really interesting, because then we don't have to speak about channels.
Yeah,
the customer can make the decision. So it is really good.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, cool. Tatu, do you see other trends and technologies coming up which will have a huge impact on marketing automation in the future? I mean, personalized check mark. So everyone wants to be addressed as personal as possible.
What I'm really interested to follow how this kind of commerce through dialogue, or this kind of online dialogue, online chat, because that's something that has a huge impact in the retail in Asian countries like China and Korea and other countries, but we haven't seen it yet much in Europe. So that's really interesting. That how is it coming to Europe, and when is it coming, and in what form is it coming? Of course, WhatsApp could be potentially one channel which kind of leads to that kind of dialogue-based automatic chatbot dialogue with the sales and maybe also personal sales agents to some extent. So that's kind of trend that I haven't seen yet happening much in Europe, but since it's a big trend in Asia, it's interesting to see how much it will change the landscape in Europe. So that's one thing. And of course, then what I already mentioned is the advertisement, utilizing the first-party data when you target advertisement to customers. That's already a big trend, but I think it's going to even increase in the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Crazy. So I think now we spoke for 40 minutes, and I learned a lot, and I made a lot of notifications. And for me, it is really interesting. Also, I made also a big learning, because now I'm sitting in the garden, and it's autumn, and it's really hot, and I have a really warm pullover. So, and it's really shit to sit in the sun with a really warm pullover. So it was a really stupid idea, but it was a really great idea to listen to you. And that was really, really cool. So I think now it's the time for the last question. Boris, take the chance and ask the last question.
Yeah, I mean, Tatu, this session was all about first data and about marketing automation. So what would you summarize, Tatu? What is the most important learning that all the viewers out there should take with them about first data and marketing automation?
Yeah, maybe what I want to emphasize is that collect the data into one place, because that's for many customers are still struggling just collecting the data into one place, into CDP or data lake, and from both, of course, online store and customer service ticketing system, but also from the physical store data, and identify the customers in the physical store, because all the future success starts from kind of owning that data, collecting that data, getting that data into one place. So that's my kind of advice. So collect that data, and then you are able to utilize it.
That's great. Yeah, and my learning, Tatu, was first of all, I still can't spell your last name. That's one. Second, it doesn't require for a mid-sized merchant a huge enterprise solution to start with collecting data, and also, as I've seen, also having a great overview in a dashboard about which is running well and which not. And the connection between offline and online business, that's a struggle that a lot of our merchants have right now. And maybe a CDP can help to improve on the right channels and also improving on online and offline business. So, and revealing that data, that's a huge asset. So that was really mind-blowing for me in this session.
Yes, very good point.
Cool. Great. So yeah, I've seen that one of your colleagues, so Johannes, was quite busy of also posting a lot of things into the chat. So if there's still something that people would like to know from you, Tatu, how can they reach you?
Yeah, well, yeah, like you mentioned, Johannes, my colleague.
No, stop. No, we have to check the tool, and the tool can explain where we can find him.
Yes.
Oh, it was a joke. So what is your preferred channel? It is LinkedIn, it is WhatsApp. What is your channel?
Yeah, well, LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It's kind of easy to kind of communicate through that with LinkedIn messages. So I'm happy to connect with anyone through LinkedIn, but also WhatsApp. Huge fan of WhatsApp as well. So both of those I love.
Great.
Cool.
Amazing. Then thanks, Tatu, for being here in that session. Thanks, Marcus, for being here, even if it was really quite warm outside in your garden. And really looking forward to our next session. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.